which renowned science fiction author contributed to the development of the story for Star Trek, the motion picture. A notable and interesting fact about Star Trek the Motion Picture is that the film underwent a rushed production schedule. The script was not finalized when filming began, and the special effects were being completed just days before the movie's premiere. Despite these challenges, the film's visual effects received an Academy Award nomination for Best Visual Effects. During the Kobayashi Maru simulation, which scenario does Admiral Kirk famously alter? In Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, the iconic line, "I have been, and always shall be, your friend," delivered by Spock to Kirk, was ad-libbed by Leonard Nimoy, adding a touching and memorable moment to the film. What is the name of the Starfleet admiral who opposes Kirk's plan to retrieve Spock's body and reunite it with his Katra? In Star Trek III, The Search for Spock, the role of the Klingon commander Krug was played by actor Christopher Lloyd, best known for his comedic roles. His portrayal added a unique and unexpected dimension to the character, diverging from his more comedic roles. To acquire a nuclear reactor for the Klingon bird of prey's dilithium recharging, the crew time travels to the 20th century. Which nuclear-powered vessel do they target for this mission? In Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, the aircraft carrier USS Enterprise, CVN-65, was featured prominently. The production crew obtained permission to film on the actual aircraft carrier, making it the only Star Trek film to have scenes shot on a real naval vessel. The crew went so far as to use the ship's actual crew in some scenes, adding an authentic touch to the movie. What is the central focus of the mysterious entity that the crew encounters in Star Trek V, The Final Frontier? In Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, the character of Sybok, Spock's half-brother, was portrayed by Lawrence Luckinbill. Interestingly, Luckinbill's wife, Lucy Arnaz, also known for her role in I Love Lucy, contributed her voice for the film as the computer voice of the USS Enterprise A. Which character is revealed to be the conspirator behind the attempt to sabotage peace negotiations between the Federation and the Klingon Empire in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country? In Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, the character Colonel West, who appears briefly in the film, was played by actor René Auberjonois. Auberjonois later became well known for his role as Odo in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Which celestial phenomenon serves as a key plot element in Star Trek Generations? allowing characters to enter a timeless realm known as the Nexus. In Star Trek Generations, the role of the mysterious energy ribbon known as the Nexus was inspired by the Northern Lights, Aurora Borealis. The filmmakers drew inspiration from the natural beauty of this phenomenon to create the visual concept for the Nexus. Which historical figure does the Borg Queen use to manipulate and attempt to assimilate data in Star Trek First Contact? In Star Trek First Contact, Data's fascination with humanity is reflected in his choice to model his art and creativity after Leonardo da Vinci, portraying the android's ongoing quest to understand and embrace human experiences. What is the name of the planet at the center of the conflict in Star Trek Insurrection? In Star Trek Insurrection, the Baku village was constructed in California's Lake Sherwood. The set was so convincing that after filming, locals asked if the structures could be left intact as a permanent addition to the area. What is the name of the new Romulan leader introduced in Star Trek Nemesis, who plays a central role in the film's plot? In Star Trek Nemesis, Praetor Shinzon is portrayed by actor Tom Hardy, who later went on to achieve widespread recognition for his roles in various blockbuster films, including portraying Bane in The Dark Knight Rises and starring as the titular character in Mad Max Fury Road. Who is the primary antagonist in the 2009 Star Trek film? In the 2009 Star Trek film, the role of Spock Prime, played by Leonard Nimoy, marks the actor's final appearance as Spock before his passing in 2015. The film serves as both a reboot and a touching nod to the original Star Trek series. What experimental technology does Admiral Marcus use to propel the USS Vengeance in Star Trek Into Darkness? Behind the scenes of Star Trek Into Darkness, director J.J. Abrams collaborated with the visual effects team to create an immersive and visually stunning warp speed sequence. To achieve a more dynamic effect, they experimented with using unconventional light sources and patterns, contributing to the film's unique visual style. What is the name of the mysterious artifact that the crew of the USS Enterprise seeks to recover in Star Trek Beyond? In Star Trek Beyond, the character Jayla's unique and intricate facial markings were inspired by the late David Bowie's alter ego Ziggy Stardust. This added a creative and visually striking element to the film. In Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, what is the name of the planet where Khan is initially discovered? In Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, the planet Ceti Alpha 5 was originally supposed to be a lush and habitable world. However, due to a misunderstanding between the filmmakers and the set designers, the arid and desolate set was created for Ceti Alpha 5. This unexpected twist led to the memorable line from Khan, "This is Ceti Alpha 5. Ceti Alpha 6 exploded 6 months after we were left here. The shock shifted the orbit of this planet and everything was laid waste." In Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country, what Shakespeare play does General Chang frequently quote? In Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country, Christopher Plummer, who portrayed General Chang, was well-versed in Shakespearean acting. Plummer suggested incorporating lines from Macbeth into his character's dialogue, and the iconic scenes where Chang quotes Shakespeare were added, showcasing the actor's love for the bard and adding a unique flair to the character. During Star Trek Generations, Captain Picard faces a personal loss. What event adds an emotional dimension to Picard's character? In Star Trek Generations, the tragedy of Captain Picard losing his family is portrayed through a personal connection with Patrick Stewart, the actor who plays Picard. Stewart shared that the scene where Picard experiences the loss of his nephew and brother mirrored his own emotional journey, drawing from Stewart's real-life experiences with family estrangement. What name do the crew of the USS Enterprise give to the stolen Klingon bird of prey in Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home? In Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, the Klingon bird of prey stolen by the crew of the USS Enterprise is humorously named HMS Bounty. The choice is a nod to the famous ship HMS Bounty, known for the mutiny led by Fletcher Christian against Captain William Bligh in the late 18th century. The playful reference adds a touch of wit to the film's time travel plot. What unique property of the planet Baku becomes a central focus of the conflict in Star Trek Insurrection? In Star Trek Insurrection, metaphasic radiation is portrayed as having rejuvenating properties. The radiation's unique characteristic is that it slows down the aging process, effectively providing a fountain of youth. This fictional element allowed the filmmakers to explore themes of ethics and the consequences of exploiting such a powerful and tempting resource within the context of the Star Trek universe. Who portrayed the character Saavik in Star Trek III: The Search for Spock? Kirstie Alley was replaced as Saavik in Star Trek III: The Search for Spock due to contract disputes and salary negotiations. The actress and the studio couldn't reach an agreement, leading to the casting of Robin Curtis in the role for the subsequent film. In Star Trek First Contact, what is the name of the first warp-capable ship built by humans? The footage of the USS Phoenix in Star Trek First Contact was created by digitally integrating scenes from the Space Shuttle Enterprise's atmospheric test flights. The filmmakers repurposed these shots, incorporating them into the scenes where the Phoenix, Earth's first warp-capable ship, takes flight. This technique allowed the movie to blend real-world space exploration history with the fictional narrative of humanity's first steps into faster-than-light travel.